My beloved child, the silence around you tonight is not empty, it is charged with destiny moving quietly toward you. Something that was hidden, protected, and delayed has just crossed the invisible line into your life. Archangel Michael says this moment was sealed long before you noticed the signs gathering around you. There is a reason your spirit has felt restless without understanding why. There is a reason familiar places suddenly feel temporary and certain thoughts keep returning without explanation. What is unfolding now was never meant to arrive loudly, but it was always meant to arrive surely. This message does not come to excite your imagination, it comes to awaken your memory. Your soul already knows this truth, even if your mind is still catching up. What is yours has been quietly transferred, signed beyond paper, and aligned beyond human timing. The first sensation will be disbelief followed by a strange calm. The second sensation will be realization that this was never random, delayed, or misplaced. The third sensation will be gratitude rising before proof fully appears. Type Amen 111 to get blessing. There is a property tied to your name in the unseen long before it becomes visible in the seen. It carries an address that does not match your expectations or your current reality. This address represents safety, elevation, and a turning point that changes how others see you and how you see yourself. This property is not only land or walls or space. It is stability, authority, and a declaration that your season of surviving has ended. The transfer happens quietly so that no opposing force can interfere. Archangel Michael says this property is protected because it carries purpose. It is connected to restoration, dignity, and future provision. It will feel shocking not because it is unfamiliar, but because it confirms something you once doubted about yourself. You were not late for this, and no one took your place. What looked like delay was actually insulation from interference. The address is different because your path was different. Type Amen 222 to get blessing. This message reaches you at a time when you may feel tired of hoping quietly. You have learned to manage expectations to avoid disappointment. Yet destiny does not respond to your exhaustion, it responds to alignment. The property becomes yours because the season demanded it, not because you chased it. There were negotiations you never attended and approvals you never requested. These were handled on levels you do not need to control. When the reveal happens, it will feel sudden to others but familiar to you. You will recognize the piece before you recognize the details. That piece is the confirmation. Archangel Michael says your name has been spoken in rooms you have never entered. Decisions have shifted without announcement. Resistance was removed without confrontation. Type Amen 333 to get blessing. This is not a message about fantasy or escape. This is about grounding, anchoring, and permanence. Something in your life becomes settled so that your spirit can finally rest. The address may shock you because it connects to a place you once dismissed or never imagined. It may carry emotional history or symbolic meaning. It may even represent closure to a chapter you thought ended without reward. Your future requires a foundation that cannot be shaken. This property is not just for now, it is for what comes next. It holds space for growth that would not fit where you currently stand. You do not need to announce this shift to anyone. Let the evidence speak when the time is right. Quiet confidence will protect what loud celebration would expose. Type Amen 444 to get blessing. There is no accident in how this reaches you tonight. You were meant to hear this when doubt was lowest and readiness was highest. Timing responds to inner alignment more than external action. This property is connected to provision that flows without struggle. It is linked to stability that does not depend on others' approval. It represents arrival without apology. Archangel Michael says this blessing carries no debt of guilt. You do not owe suffering in exchange for receiving it. You are allowed to receive without explanation. The shock will pass quickly and clarity will replace it. You will understand why it could not come earlier. You will see how every detour protected the transfer. Type Amen 555 to get blessing. This message also releases you from comparing your journey to others. Their timeline was never meant to host your outcome. Your address was custom aligned to your assignment. There were moments when you thought you lost ground. In truth, you were being repositioned. What looked like stagnation was actually recalibration. Your patience was not ignored. It was recorded. Every quiet endurance added weight to this outcome. The property carries peace that cannot be manufactured. It carries safety that does not depend on circumstances. It becomes a place where your nervous system finally exhales. Type Amen 666 to get blessing. You may notice small confirmations unfolding soon. Conversations will align. Information will surface without effort. Obstacles will dissolve without explanation. This is not coincidence, it is coordination. The unseen does not rush, but it never forgets. When the moment arrives, it moves decisively. The address will feel symbolic of transformation. It may mark a shift in status, independence, or security. It reflects inner growth made visible. Archangel Michael says your season of being overlooked has ended. Recognition arrives quietly and remains permanently. What is built now will not be taken. Type Amen 777 to get blessing. You are not required to understand every step. Clarity unfolds as capacity increases. Trust grows as evidence accumulates. This property does not isolate you, it anchors you. It becomes a place of restoration and preparation. It supports what you are becoming. Your responsibility is not to rush the reveal. Your responsibility is to remain open and grounded. Gratitude accelerates what resistance delays. There is nothing fragile about this blessing. It does not disappear if questioned. It remains because it is rooted in alignment. Type Amen 888 to get blessing. This message carries a reminder of worth. You are not receiving because of perfection. You are receiving because of persistence. The address represents more than location. It represents belonging. It affirms that you were never meant to wander indefinitely. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. This line appears once because support flows in many forms. Energy moves where intention is honored. Type Amen 999 to get blessing. As this message settles, allow calm to replace anticipation. You do not need to chase what is already assigned. You only need to stay aligned. Archangel Michael says protection surrounds this transition. Nothing meant for you will bypass you. Nothing not meant for you will distract you. The shock will turn into understanding. The understanding will turn into stability. The stability will turn into gratitude. Remain still in your spirit. The address will reveal itself at the exact moment it can be held without fear. My beloved child, the pause you feel now is not emptiness, it is anticipation settling into certainty. What was announced quietly is now aligning visibly, layer by layer, moment by moment. Archangel Michael says the unfolding is protected, steady, and irreversible. You may feel a subtle shift in how you breathe, how you rest, how you imagine tomorrow. This is not imagination expanding, this is destiny settling into place. The unseen transfer has already occurred, and now reality is adjusting to catch up. Nothing needs to be forced from this point forward. What belongs to you recognizes you without effort. You are stepping into a phase where things move toward you naturally. The calm surrounding this message is intentional. It prepares you to receive without fear and without doubt. Shock fades, but alignment remains. Type Amen 101 to get blessing. This property is tied to a chapter of your life where you no longer negotiate your worth. It stands as evidence that patience carries weight and endurance leaves marks on reality. You are not walking into something temporary, you are entering something rooted. There were moments when you questioned if stability was meant for you. Those thoughts were not truth, they were fatigue speaking. This outcome arrives to silence that voice permanently. The address reflects growth you achieved internally before it ever showed externally. That is why it holds such authority. You did not skip steps, you completed them quietly. Archangel Michael says this transition closes doors gently so no regret follows. What ends now ends without pain. What begins now begins without resistance. Type Amen 202 to get blessing. You may notice your priorities shifting without effort. Things that once consumed energy lose their grip. Things that support your future gain clarity. This is how alignment announces itself. It does not shout, it simplifies. It removes distractions so focus becomes natural. The property is connected to peace that does not depend on people. It offers space where you do not have to explain yourself. It becomes a place where you can simply exist and expand. There is a sense of permanence attached to this blessing. It does not flicker or threaten to disappear. It stays because it belongs. Type Amen 303 to get blessing. The reveal may not arrive in dramatic fashion. It may come through a message, a document, a conversation, or an unexpected opportunity. However it appears, recognition will be instant. Your intuition will confirm it before logic catches up. Your body will relax before your mind understands. That reaction is your confirmation. Archangel Michael says you will not need to compete for this. No one can outbid destiny. What is assigned to you bypasses conflict. This is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about standing in something that proves itself. Type Amen 404 to get blessing. There were times you felt invisible, as if effort dissolved without acknowledgement. Those moments were not wasted. They built the foundation for what now becomes visible. This property carries the energy of recognition without exposure. You will be seen without being consumed. You will be acknowledged without being drained. The address may connect to opportunity, security, or legacy. It may even create space for others to find refuge through you. What you receive will overflow naturally. Nothing about this blessing isolates you. It strengthens your position so you can give without depletion. Type Amen 505 to get blessing. You are stepping into a phase where your environment reflects your inner growth. Chaos recedes as order establishes itself. Confusion fades as clarity anchors. This is not a sudden miracle, it is a prepared arrival. Every delay shaped capacity. Every pause refined readiness. Archangel Michael says you are trusted with this because you value peace over pride. You understand stewardship more than display. That is why it lasts. Let others speculate while you remain grounded. You do not need to correct assumptions. Truth reveals itself with time. Type Amen 606 to get blessing. As the days unfold, you may feel lighter without understanding why. That lightness comes from certainty replacing uncertainty. Your nervous system senses stability approaching. This property does not bind you, it frees you. It gives you room to choose instead of react. It gives you ground to stand on. The address may also represent a mental or emotional location where you finally feel at home. Not all properties are measured only in walls. Some are measured in peace. This blessing touches more than one area of your life. Its influence spreads quietly but firmly. Type Amen 707 to get blessing. Do not rush to explain this shift to anyone. Let it integrate first. Let it settle into your spirit before it becomes a topic of conversation. Archangel Michael says protection increases as gratitude deepens. Appreciation anchors what excitement alone cannot. Calm receiving secures longevity. What once felt uncertain now feels inevitable. What once felt distant now feels near. That is alignment completing its work. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into alignment fulfilled. Type Amen 808 to get blessing. The address will not overwhelm you when it appears. It will feel right. It will feel earned. It will feel calm. This is how you know it is real. Real blessings do not create anxiety. They create relief. As part 2 closes, remain still and observant. Signs will confirm what words introduced. Reality will echo what spirit already knows. What is yours has found you. What is aligned stays with you. My beloved child, what has begun to reveal itself now starts to take form within you before it takes form around you. This stage is quieter than expectation but stronger than anticipation. Archangel Michael says this is where certainty replaces wondering and grounding replaces waiting. You may notice that your reactions are changing. Situations that once unsettled you no longer reach as deeply. This is not emotional distance, this is security beginning to anchor. The property connected to you is not rushed because it is permanent. Permanence moves slowly so it can last. Nothing about this phase needs to impress, it only needs to align. Your spirit recognizes this stage as familiar. it feels like returning rather than arriving. That is because what is coming was always connected to who you are becoming. Type Amen 909 to get blessing. This part of the journey teaches you how to receive without tension. You are learning that holding something valuable does not require fear. What is meant for you does not demand constant protection. There were times you held on too tightly to smaller things because stability felt uncertain. Now stability approaches on its own, without gripping or guarding. That is growth becoming visible. The address tied to this property carries resonance, not noise. It does not announce itself loudly, but it stands firmly once known. It becomes unquestionable. Archangel Michael says this phase confirms that you are trusted. Trust is given where balance exists. You have learned balance through experience, not theory. Type Amen 1001 to get blessing. You may find yourself organizing your thoughts, your plans, even your surroundings. This is not coincidence. Your inner world is making room for outer confirmation. Nothing is being taken from you in this phase. Only excess, distraction, and uncertainty fall away. What remains feels lighter and more focused. The property represents more than ownership. It represents arrival into a season where effort and reward finally meet without struggle. Flow replaces force. This is not about sudden elevation. It is about steady establishment. Steady things endure where sudden things fade. Type Amen 1111 to get blessing. People around you may sense a shift without understanding it. You do not need to explain it. Let your calm speak where words would complicate. This blessing does not require validation. It holds its own authority. Those meant to understand will recognize it naturally. Archangel Michael says discernment sharpens in this phase. You will know where to invest energy and where to withdraw without guilt. Boundaries strengthen quietly. The address connected to this property also marks a boundary between your past and your future. Once crossed, you do not need to return. Type Amen 1212 to get blessing. You are entering a time where decisions feel clearer. Options narrow not because of limitation, but because of alignment. What does not match simply loses appeal. This clarity is a gift. It prevents you from building on unstable ground again. You are guided toward what can support you long term. The property holds space for growth that does not exhaust you. Expansion becomes natural rather than forced. Progress feels sustainable. Nothing about this phase demands urgency. Urgency belongs to instability. Stability invites patience. Type Amen 1313 to get blessing. As the foundation settles, gratitude deepens naturally. You may find yourself thankful without a specific reason. That gratitude is anticipation without anxiety. Archangel Michael says gratitude is the seal on this transition. It anchors what excitement alone cannot secure. Calm appreciation locks alignment in place. This is also the phase where old fears lose their voice. They may appear briefly, but they no longer direct your movement. Confidence replaces caution. You are not stepping forward blindly. You are stepping forward supported. Type Amen 1414 to get blessing. The address will soon feel less mysterious and more familiar. Mystery served its purpose by protecting the process. Familiarity now allows integration. You will understand why certain doors closed when they did. You will see how each redirection preserved this outcome. Understanding brings peace. This property does not isolate you from others. It positions you to connect without losing yourself. Stability allows generosity without depletion. You are no longer building from survival. You are building from security. Type Amen 1515 to get blessing. Part 3 closes with reassurance rather than excitement. Excitement fades, reassurance remains. What is forming now is designed to stay. Remain grounded, observant, and open. Let confirmation arrive in its own rhythm. What is aligned does not miss its moment. The foundation is set. The door is prepared. What comes next will feel natural, not forced. My beloved child, this is the stage where what was felt becomes known and what was known becomes lived. The energy around you now is steady, not dramatic, because permanence does not announce itself loudly. Archangel Michael says this is the phase where alignment settles into reality without resistance. You may sense a deep calm replacing the need to imagine outcomes. Anticipation softens into assurance. This is how completion feels before confirmation appears. The path ahead no longer feels foggy, it feels grounded. You are not rushing towards something new, you are stepping into something prepared. Prepared things welcome rather than surprise. This stage carries a quiet authority. Nothing needs to prove itself anymore. What is yours begins to stand on its own. Type Amen 1616 to get blessing. The address connected to this property now aligns with your daily thoughts. It no longer feels distant or symbolic. It begins to feel reachable and real. You may notice subtle shifts in conversation, opportunity, or circumstance. These shifts are not coincidence, they are alignment locking into place. Reality responds when readiness stabilizes. Archangel Michael says this manifestation does not come with chaos. It comes with clarity. Clarity brings peace where excitement once lived. This is how you know it is genuine. Genuine blessings calm the system rather than overwhelm it. Type Amen 1717 to get blessing. At this stage, you are no longer asking when or how. Those questions dissolve naturally. Trust replaces curiosity. You are learning that certainty does not shout. It whispers and remains. What stays quiet now will remain strong later. The property becomes part of your identity without defining your worth. You own it, but it does not own you. Balance is preserved. This is a season of possession without attachment. Stability without rigidity. Growth without pressure. Type Amen 1818 to get blessing. Others may begin to notice a difference in how you carry yourself. You appear more grounded, less reactive, more present. This is not performance, it is integration. You no longer chase reassurance externally. Internal stability has taken root. That root supports everything else. Archangel Michael says this is the reward of inner work done quietly. Nothing flashy, nothing loud, nothing fragile. Only solid ground. The address reflects this solidity. It holds space rather than demands attention. Type Amen 1919 to get blessing. This phase also brings release. Old patterns of fear, scarcity, and self-doubt lose relevance. They no longer fit the structure forming around you. You may look back and realize how much you outgrew without noticing. Growth often reveals itself in hindsight. The property stands as proof that endurance shapes outcomes. Not everything needs to be fought for. Some things arrive because they recognize you. This is recognition without conflict. Type Amen 2020 to get blessing. Your environment begins to mirror your inner order. Life feels less cluttered, more intentional. Decisions align faster. This is not because choices disappear, but because clarity sharpens. You know what belongs and what does not. Archangel Michael says discernment is one of the greatest protections. It keeps what matters close and distractions distant. The address marks a boundary you no longer cross backward. You move forward naturally now. Type Amen 2121 to get blessing. This final stage is not an ending, it is a stabilization. What has arrived is meant to support future growth, not conclude it. The property becomes a base, not a destination. From here, expansion happens without instability. You are no longer preparing to receive. You are learning how to maintain without strain. Maintenance requires calm, not effort. This is where maturity meets blessing. Type Amen 2222 to get blessing. As Part 4 closes, remain present and grounded. Let life confirm what spirit has already settled. There is no rush, no pressure, no fear. Archangel Michael says what is aligned stays aligned. What is assigned remains assigned. Nothing meant for you will slip away. The address has found its rightful place in your life. The season has turned. Stability has arrived.